Yeah, that 40,000 number was as of early yesterday, and certainly the Musk Doge team, the Trump administration, expects that number to increase considerably today as we approach the deadline. It's obviously a decision that federal employees don't want to make lightly, and so they're going to try to get all of the information that they can before making this decision about whether to take this deferred resignation deal, which basically would keep them paid until the end of the fiscal year, until September 30th, even though they can leave and perhaps even go find another job at the end of February. But these are a million individual decisions by federal workers that collectively could have a really big impact on all sorts of federal services that people receive every day. The largest federal department is the Veterans Administration, which is already having critical staffing shortages in almost all of its hospitals and clinics around the country. We know from the past week or so what's happening with air traffic control. So there are a lot of sensitive positions that haven't been explicitly excluded from this deal that we want to just kind of see the data and where all these employees are going to come from and what impact that's going to have.
Oh, yeah, and it's tax filing season. I guess this applies to IRS. Do you really want to cut the IRS workforce at this time of year? And also, the CIA and workers in that field, does this then raise national security concerns?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion about this because originally when the email from the Office of Personnel Management went out last week, and this was a very sort of Elon Musk email, right? The subject line was "fork in the road," which is the exact same subject line that went out to Twitter employees when he was trying to downsize that company, which he's since renamed X, of course. But that original email said that national security employees, immigration enforcement, postal workers would be exempt from this deal. But then days later, the CIA offered its own deal separate from this to try to slim down the workforce and what they said sort of recalibrate towards the skills that they're going to need in the future. So it's really unclear, who's eligible, which resignations they'll even accept. The government doesn't necessarily have to accept the resignation. And then there's a possibility even that if somebody has buyer's remorse and says, wait, I want to rescind my offer, there are questions about whether they can do that. There's questions about whether these offers are even guaranteed, given that Congress ultimately funds the federal government and Congress could have the final say over whether workers continue to get paid. So a lot of questions here, but this is a pretty audacious, bold move to really fundamentally reshape the federal government from the bottom down. Usually this is done by across the board budget cuts across federal agencies. Here they're going straight to the employees and saying, do you want to still work here or not?
Gregory, just about 20 seconds left. How many employees does the federal government have? Is 40,000 a lot or just a drop in a bucket?
Yeah, it's about 2.3 million civilian employees. That includes uniformed military services. So right now we're talking about with 40,000, that's like 2% of the federal workforce, and their goal is 5 to 10%. So we'll see if we get there.